would say what really got me into hops was Red Hook. Back when Red Hook was actually a hoppy amber beer from Seattle. I really loved Sam Smith's Oatmeal Stout, all the ESBs, the Fullers, and even Bass, you know, back in the day. I lived in Hawaii for about 11 years, so it wasn't really the craft beer or imported beer mecca, you know, as things are today. But I was the guy that, you know, 12-pack of Bud to the party, but then I had my back pockets full of Sam Smith's and, you know, all the good beers, and I'd pound through those first and then get into the Bud. Another epiphany, kind of, and it wasn't my first one, but Big Time Brewery in Seattle, right down in the U District. First time I went there was probably like 88, 89, and they had 3 IPAs on draft. So for me, that was kind of like, oh, well,
in 89 for 3.
This is where hop flavor. This is what I like. I like hop flavor, and that was kind of my first epiphany on IPAs, and obviously I've been chasing that taste ever since. You know, Calico and Copper have always been just a great standard for me. And the fact that it's won a gold medal at the GABF, it's won a gold medal at the World Beer Cup, it's won a gold medal at the European Beer Star Awards, it's gotten medals in Belgium, and, you know, all over the place. So it's definitely by far the most award-winning beer, and I think it gets overlooked a lot and not really appreciated. It's got a hoppy bite to it, it's got hop flavor to it, but it's still got that nice toffee aroma and flavors to it. And it's not only a great cocktail beer where you can sit around and drink a pitcher of it, it's also a great food beer.
Right.
And it pairs with so many different foods. So, I mean, overall, all around, award-winning, tasting-wise, you know, and just seeing it kind of grow up, kind of as I have through the brewing years here, I'd say Calico Amber. Sculpin's on such a tear, and the fact that I was kind of the enabler on that, you know, and got George and Doug together and was the one that asked for their 2 recipes and realized how much of the ingredients are what I used in my IPAs home brewing, and able to sprinkle in a few of my ingredients and have this. It's exactly what Little Italy is. You know, I wanted to do a beer to stoke out my employees that had been working really hard at Home Brew Mart for a long time. The fact that they won medals in the National Homebrewing Contest in both double IPA and regular IPA. They never really brewed together, but were using similar ingredients. And to make a beer for them, to go sit at O'Brien's, their favorite bar, and order pints of it and laugh about it with, you know, all their friends that are there, that was the motivation for Sculpin. And to have it become such a juggernaut and to just grab onto people's taste buds so much, and to see it, you know be one of the quintessential IPAs in the world right now, and almost kind of one of a few that are the benchmark for the style. I mean, how could I not be proud of that? If I told you that, then somebody else is going to watch this and they're going to do it before me. The beer that I used to do back then, that was kind of one of the first spicy beers that I ever did. George Catalan at Home Brew Mart was the first one to do kind of a habanero IPA. And I'm like, oh, I really like the spice and the heat in there. And I'm a big sushi fan, so I did an all-rice IPA with some Hirschbrucker hops that had this kind of green tea effect to it. Really light IPA with green tea in there, and then I put in some mustard seed, horseradish root, and ginger root. So I basically make a wasabi ginger rice IPA, kind of a beer for sushi. Cool. Is what I've done. So that's definitely on my list to get done here at Little Italy and kind of revisit that. Smoked IPA with jalapeno and maple in it. That's great. I mean, really?
I loved it.
You know, that's something you read, and then you're like kind of doing this, and you're like, oh, the light bulb goes off.
Right.
Hopefully variety. You know, I think people always want to know, oh, IPA is a big thing, oh, sour ales are a big thing. It's like, I just want to see brewers expanding out, you know, trying to find those varieties that aren't over brewed, but you can still make a good example of that, you know, and you can draw people into your brewery with English mild or you know, just something a filtered Weiss beer, you know, those kinds. Well, I mean, there's the quote, "Good people drink good beer," and it's a simple quote, and I think it just describes our whole industry. You know, you rarely see fights at craft brew events. You know what I mean? We have one of the happiest stores in San Diego. You know, to be able to come in, grab a beer, and then get all your homebrewing supplies. I mean, you don't hear people complaining much over there at home.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so
That's true.
it's a happy crowd. They're usually kind of a creative crowd, and they like the way that beer enhances their quality of life. And I think, you know, that's one of the many reasons San Diego is so popular, is because we have a great quality of life down here, and beer is just enhancing this quality of life that's been here in San Diego for decades and hundreds of years.